All right, everybody, welcome back to Gaming for Cheap. Now, today we're going over Clyde's Adventure. Now, Clyde's Adventure is a interesting game from the 90s that, you use the old floppy disks on, if any of you remember floppy disks. Uh, and it's a very easy to play, very hard to play game. Now, as you can see here, the demo footage, it's very slow pace. Now you are able to speed up the controls, and I'll double check what that is. I believe it's F10, F9. F9 slows you down, F10 speeds it up. Uh, and it's all about trying to collect these gems, get the special artifact, and then get out of the level. But you have an energy consumption you have to worry about, as you can see the lower quarter. That slowly goes away. It's like playing the old E.T. game, if anyone ever played the E.T. Atari game, but handled better. But it is a trial and error game, very similar to that of, you know, uh, Want to Be the Game. I believe that's the title. It's a very hard trial and error, meant to punish you kind of game, because there are things like just happened there in the demo that just pop up if you go to certain areas. But if you go too far, you'll get blocked in. And there are little notes everywhere that give you hints or tell you things. Usually they tell you things like, bad idea. So we're going to try and get into this. It's one of those kinds of games. Okay. So here we are. We're going to go into the first one. And we're going to try... Okay, a little fast. There we go. That's much better. Also, you'll notice there is no music, which is odd, but just the way the game is. I think later levels might have some music, but currently it does not. And you're quite frustrating when you're trying to, get into the atmosphere and there's no sound. I mean, at least the sound effects are good, and you have a solid... And speaking of things, so that brick could be used with the magic wand to make it disappear. And it could have fallen down here. Here's why you don't, and you go for the lever instead. Trial and error. Because then I would have been trapped. So, it's a very hard game. And it can be quite challenging. Especially if you just hit everything the first time and not care about consequences. It comes down to a very difficult timing scheme. Yeah, that lovely piece of paper over there tells you to activate that by doing it. It's one of the few times you... Now, granted, speeding it up does make for more difficult challenges, because it is a precision-based game, and the faster you are, obviously the easier it is to screw up those precision challenges. Because there is no momentum. It's all just whatever it is. Which obviously means the more you know about gaming, the more you're going to want to steer into the... Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. But see what I mean? It's a very easy game to die in, and you will get trapped. You will have all these things happen to you time and time again. It's just the way of the game. And trust me, there are levels where you will beat the level with like, just a couple of energy left on your movement. And it's just, it is very trying on the patience. Now, the cool thing about the first couple levels is that you don't have to reach the goal for gems because there isn't one, but you do have the other side of it where in later levels, the more you have to start with, the easier it is to get through because you understand the premise. And I mean, when I first played this game, I was playing it on my dad's computer. If you've watched any of this series before, you hear me talk about playing at my dad's quite often because that was where the good gaming computer was. Yeah, please note the good gaming computer was still a really, really, really bad gaming computer, even for the times. And this is one of the harder platforming games that we had. I mean, I definitely found this to be probably the most frustrating game. But I did play it quite voraciously. I mean, and there is a lot to be said for this game being challenging because it doesn't look like much. I mean, it's a bright side scroller, back and forth, collecting pieces, but it doesn't mean that it's not. And like I say many, many times, it doesn't detract from the fun. And also, being a platformer like this does give us a lovely thing of something you can play with. That's right, your kids. Because as an adult, you have to sometimes, have something that correlates well with them. Now, if I remember correctly, I need to go down here. Nope. I trapped myself. Didn't I? Yep. Well, there's that one. And I have so much energy, I can't continue. I can never remember what the right way to do this is. Trial and error, right? Well, here we are again. Starting over. I think this will be the last time I try. Because you can see exactly what I mean by it. It is a hard trial and error game. But I have no interest in continuing playing this for recording with all the trouble this is going to cause. Because even that was one of those, I remember that, too late and frustrating. But it is a good, challenging game. And it's an older one. It's from the 90s. So, don't feel bad. Now, it doesn't mean that there aren't other games, because as we all know, there are, gosh, I don't even want to think about the actual number of video games out there. And, as that stands, this is just another one that you can play in a browser or download the zip file. I mean, there is a entire download you can get for free. Also, this is one of those rare occasions where the character you're playing as, Clyde, is a portly man. I mean, look at this guy. He's got a belly, big nose. And I've got to go down now. I don't think I'm going to succeed. I think I screwed up again, guys. That's okay. I mean, I really want to succeed and show you guys something fun, but it doesn't always happen in these. I mean, even look at that. They got backgrounds. It does give a immersive feel. mean, if any of you have played this, I mean, feel free to, talk about your experience because I always thought this was a difficult one. You know, there are other games that, others I know thought were really challenging that I always thought were pretty basic. I mean, that might be me being, extremely telltale, but yeah, trying to remember the pattern. Terrible. Right now, I'm not even trying to get all the gems. I don't even care enough. Especially since I don't need them all right now. Well, maybe I'll try this real quick because apparently it's allowing me. Because I found a hole. I mean, 180 is a pretty good way to end a level out of 200, right? I'm not slacking. I'm just not willing to put in the diligent coverage, especially with the limited. Oh, right, I gotta use the porter. Teleport. Aha! Now this is where shenanigans come in. And I'm stuck, and I will die. Oh well. You didn't make it. I failed. But as I said, it's a hard game. You gotta be good. You gotta be real good about it. Very precise. So I leave that for you all. Do with as you may. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Give me a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the Gaming for Cheap segment. And it's been fun. I'll talk with you all next time. Bye.